So welcome to day 3 for those that are here and those out there in YouTube land. Should be here next time. Okay, so where have we been? Where are we going? We've started to get a process of getting to know the managers a little bit. We've started the process of getting to know the concept a little bit, the physical layout of the place. We're going to review some of those things during the course of today. It's a lot of information that's being thrown at you. We get it. We understand. We appreciate you guys being here. We appreciate you wading through it. And we're going to do it again and again until we get it right. We even talked earlier today, Ariel and myself, about, if these are the dining hall servers, you guys were locked in with you. Let's get Wendy back up here. Let's just do a one-on-one with these 7 people about, so we can walk away with those 4 or 5 adjectives we need about each wine to really know it, earn it, live it, and love it. We didn't start out with a whole lot of runners, so you're already in, and you and your brother James, so we're good with you guys. So where are we going today? It's going to be a slight change just based on realities of deliveries and delivery times. The espresso machine is not here yet, so instead of a coffee demonstration, we're going to do a coffee conversation. Talk again. There's been, I don't want to say painstaking efforts to make each decision, but there's been thought into each decision, and La Colombe was chosen as both the coffee as well as the espresso provider, which is we're working with it some of our other places. I think some of you are nodding in approval that recognize that it's a superior product like the rest of the stuff that we're doing here. One company would have given us the espresso machine if we had gone with their coffee or their espresso more actively. But Ryan's like, no way, that's no good. We're going with La Colombe. I think it's personally motivated. As he's ripping around the jazz part, like, you've been hitting the La Colombe, haven't you, brother? We're gonna know right away. But we got big espresso machine that's coming, and a lot of pods and a lot of heads to make it, or no pods, a lot of 2 heads.
Yes. So
it'll make which you'll really appreciate at 6:45 when the first wave of 10 cappuccinos comes in for the 10 top, so that'll cut the work in half. But anyway, and then I think we are going to do kind of breakouts for our individual groups, which hopefully some more folks will show up, so we can do that. And then we will go into LaVu training, so we'll begin to learn the POS or the computer system. That's going to take some time. Anything and everything that we're talking about is available to you guys on your own time or when you have time. So for example, if you want to come in any day, really essentially we're always here, someone's always here, and practice on the LaVu, that's fine too. Practice on the LaVu. Some of you out there don't have as much experience with tray service, bussing tables, whatever the case may be. We're here. Come in, impromptu, we'll work with you to get you the knowledge you need. You say, I just don't feel good about my beer knowledge. Can you spend a few minutes with me on beer? No problem. Bo's happy to talk about cocktails. We're happy to talk about promotions and marketing initiatives and so on and so forth. And I think speaking of which, we're also going to talk about the press release, kind of dial into that a little bit. Just make sure everybody understands each and every aspect of the press release, because there's a lot of information in there. Those who have not been online or seen the media coverage we're getting, there's been at least 2 big hits. Philly.com, well, there's been 3 really. 2 within Philly.com. There was an intro piece by Michael Klein, which is the table talk guy that always kind of has to be in the know. That went up at 6 o'clock or so yesterday morning, so it's up for drive time. So I'm sure there's a lot of water cooler talk yesterday. And then there was a fuller, complete piece on Philly.com, which reaches however many millions of people, so those folks are aware. And then Philadelphia Magazine's F&B component, FUBU's, Art Eccles, who's a good friend of ours, covered it as well. So the awareness is starting. We weren't able to really do anything until Michael Klein got it out there. The way things work in the PR world is he gets the exclusive. He's the one able to tell everybody, then everybody else can start to write about it. So, which works out perfectly timing-wise to start this crescendo of media attention. So it'll all, we'll officially open, I think we talked about this a little bit, but if not, we'll dial into it. We'll officially open October 1st, which is 2 or 3 weeks away. We'll have a grand opening party or grand opening parties. We'll open the 18th, which is next Friday, kind of soft, just to get our sea legs and start the process of making money. Michael Gunner's going to do a press conference to be determined time, but probably 3 o'clock on next Friday, just kind of announcing the opening of South as just another feather in the cap of the northern expansion. So that is cool. So I think Brian's going to talk a little bit about coffee, and then we'll launch into, I think I'll come back up and we'll do the press release. Cool.
Thanks.
Thanks, Ryan.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday, Ryan.
As you can tell, coffee is a very important part of my life. So I guess I'm the perfect person to talk about our coffee program here. We were going to have the espresso machine installed today. It'll probably actually happen Monday. It's being shipped from Oregon. It's an awesome espresso machine. La Spatiale, but you don't really have to know that. We did choose La Colombe coffee because La Colombe is the best coffee around here. We will have 3 different formats of coffee. We're going to have drip coffee, obviously espresso, and it's many different forms. And we're going to do French press as well, because French press is the way to go if you really want pure coffee. So the French press we're getting is going to be a Fishtown blend, so it's very near and dear to the hearts of all the hipsters out there, as well as people around here. The espresso blend will be the Nizza blend, which is banging. And the coffee, I think, is Nizza as well, I'm not sure. So, Hamza will be here. He is our representative from La Colombe. He's going to actually give us a class on all the different types of drinks, lattes, macchiatos, mocha, yada, yada, yada. He'll be here either Monday or Tuesday to educate you all in that. But just, we'll talk about essentials for coffee service right now. I've been disappointed many times when I've gone out to eat and I'm done eating and I'm not offered coffee. I think coffee is essential to after meal digestion. You can have it with a shot or you can just have it alone. If I'm not offered coffee, my dining experience has just dropped. It's another enhancer. It helps you raise your check, raise your monetary value, hopefully making your tip better in the end. But it also just completes the meal for everybody. So whether you like espresso or coffee, you always want to offer it to your guests. We do a coffee presentation. We don't just drop everything off at the table. Right, Rick? Okay. So we have a cup, we have a saucer, we have the sugar caddies separate. Always ask if they want cream and sugar. But we actually pour the coffee for the guests at the table for 2 reasons. It looks nice, but secondly, it keeps the coffee hot. How many times have you served a table and you're in the weeds, you have like 6 tables, and you're like, all right, I just got to get the coffee dropped off to this table and I'm good. Drop the coffee off at the table. My coffee is cold. I need new coffee. And that is like, oh, that just got to the top of my priority list because my dessert's about to come out. And what we talked about the other day, you need to have the coffee down before you have the dessert. Ruins the experience. And I will be on top of you about that. So, pouring the coffee at the table, for the most part, prevents the coffee from being cold when it gets there. A thing about that, please, we're going to have the air pots in the back for the coffee. We're going to have little pots to carry to the table. We need to make sure that we're not just going crazy on the air pot. Just do 2 or 3 pumps per cup, right? So you're not wasting coffee, and then the coffee's not going back, and it's not sitting up there and just getting cold in a pot. Any of the excess, just dump out. Automatically just dump out, but don't waste the coffee. That's all I ask. Along with coffee service, I guess we can talk about tea service as well. We're going to have single bag teas. We'll have a little container that has all the different teas in it. You can bring it over to your table, show it. Again, it's presentation. It just makes that much more of an experience for your guests. So if they're not into the coffee, which I don't know why they wouldn't be, they should be into the tea. So just remember, at the end of your meal, coffee, tea, and dessert. Right? Any questions?
So we're making French presses and then pouring them into the AirPods?
No, no.
Okay.
That's drip.
Oh.
AirPod is drip coffee.
Oh,
So,
oh.
yeah, so they have their choice. They can do American coffee, or they can do French press, or they can do espresso. So the French press, we're probably going to have two different sizes. I'm not sure. We'll have small and large. Essentially, the large is for the whole table, small is for the one person, but if you're like me, a large is for you. And you're going to be, you'll be grinding it right there in the back. We have a grinder to keep it fresh. We're not going to leave it like sitting around. It's usually 3 scoops for small, 5 for large, depending on the pot, but that's the normal size. More questions? All right. I guess that's it. Cool.
Thank you.
I guess.